animal feed, dog and cat food, animal supplements, a wide range of floral supplies, nursery pots, ground cover and shade cloth, and much more. We also stock a wide range of motor vehicle supplies, including automotive oils, filters for all vehicles, engine coolants, and much more. Email us today at cubano_1@hotmail.com or call us today 451-2911 or 493-7175. Cubano Limited, professional, top quality, and exceptional service.
WEFM, the new fresh sound.
WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
Alrighty, so time for NSVG. It is 8:17, and we are back with you for more commentary here on today's Activated Mornings program. Now, I know that previously we advertised that we were going to have an interview, or we'll be conducting an interview with Marvin Mega Fraser, the ULP's candidate for Central Kingstown. However, that interview will be rescheduled, all right? Most likely to another day during the week, this week, but we'll keep you informed of that, all right? So that interview is going to be rescheduled. And as you already would have realized, we are joined by Doc this morning. It's Monday morning, so our usual third co-host is already in studio with us. So Doc, good morning.
How are you? And where's our friend from Trinidad? She's
Nicole? Oh, no, she's not on with us this morning.
That's all right. It's okay.
She has so let me make apologies for Nicole as well. She has a power outage where she is, right? That's the reason why she wasn't able to join us this morning. So.
Having that, Trinidad's going through a little thing. I understand some public servants, haven't been paid until today, and and so forth down there. They're having some challenges. Things like that in Trinidad. I'm really glad here in St. Vincent we haven't had circumstances like that where public servants and so have had to wait for their salaries, and so that's good. That's really a good thing.
Public servants, but what about sometimes those in statutory corporations?
Statutory corporations
who are waiting on subvention, etc.
And the point about is that that's why I mentioned, and even in the private sector, where sometimes people have to wait, but I'm talking about the government in terms of the public servants, nurses, teachers, all these kind of things, But anyway, we're talking that discussion we had this morning on political violence. I think is very interesting, And I gotta say, let me admit that I have been a politician before. Let me also say, everybody, I am a supporter of the Unity Labour Party. I cannot be considered as a neutral party and so forth. We start from that standpoint.
Okay.
But
tell me something brand new, Doc.
No, I say that as a preamble.
I know, I realize.
And I took 3 seconds to say that.
Mm-hmm.
I have always considered myself as a meek and mild individual. The doctor with a bedside manner.
This is a Doc with the too old thump discussion?
Yes, okay. Yeah.
All right.
However, I remember going into, in my early days, going into 2 areas of the constituency that supporters of another party felt I should not be there. I was bold. I was trying to get at and reach young persons and so forth. And that was something that should not be done. And I remember somebody holding on to my arm and saying, "Get out of here, get out, you can't, what are you doing inside there? Get out of there." This happened also in Chateaublais. I was born in an area called Galban, right next to the place called Coco. And somebody did the same thing to me. And what happened is that the word were in these 2 places on different occasions, the word went out and there was a flood of supporters who came in to rescue me and to thinking they'll rescue me and to confront the circumstance. And I said, no, please, everybody, calm down. But some of them thought I was weak. I know that because I didn't show a fight to fight back. And others thought I was doing the right thing by trying to keep things good. I want to call on all politicians. You understand? Because some politicians from the past are still involved in the game. So I include myself, though I don't consider myself as a politician. That lets us tone down that tempo. Let us not exhort it. Let us take the example of the Prime Minister who was struck by a stone. And he went on to say, I'm not going to press charges. I'm not going to proceed with this. And some people will interpret that in different ways, But for some people, a lot is at stake. A lot is at stake. They feel that the only way to do things is through violence. And we could go back through the ages, whether it's the Romans or the Mongols or the Babylonians or whatever. Let's say the Caribs who came up to conquer the Arawaks, or the British who came here, or whatever. There are, or the English who came and went after the native Indians in the United States. There's a thinking that you can overwhelm somebody else, and that's unfortunate. And I think there are some persons who think that is strength. That is strength. There are others who feel, well, you have to defend yourself at all costs. Don't allow people to come into your area. Don't allow the opposition or the government party or somebody represent to come into your area to campaign or do activity, because winning and the consequences of winning, the spoils of winning in their minds are great. And I think this is something that you're right. There's a lot of arrogance. There's a lot of different things, and so
right,
that's my take on it.
All right, so we have a call. Hi, caller. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Roleza. Good morning, Dianna. Good morning, Dr. Thompson.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm just calling. I concerned when you say was speaking about urging supporters to stop the violence and all of that. I heard last night at the meeting that Dr. Gonsalves was ordering supporters not to destroy billboards and for them to keep peace.
Okay. Good. Yes.
Okay, yes.
All right.
I'm just calling just to let you all know that I heard that last
for
night.
yourself. Okay. All right. Appreciate you informing us of that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Hang up for me, please.
Okay. No problem. All right. We have Dave calling it as well. Let's hear from Dave. Hi, Dave. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Well, Dr. Thompson always stimulate me when I hear him as a veteran politician come on the radio. Well, I know he has access to WEFM more than anybody else, I believe. But Dave Roberts, and let me call my name, I have been speaking out about all these issues that we are we are affected by right now. If everybody was like Dave Roberts, you wouldn't even know you have an election in this country. Yeah. If everybody, I'm bold enough to say that, if everybody was like me, you'll never know you have an election in this country. And it pains me, it hurts me. I have complained what politics has done to us as a people. The reason for that is because, I don't know, maybe some of us was brought up in this way according to your political persuasion or your family who were involved in politics. But why in the 21st century, in the year 2025, we have so much educated people But put that in inverted commas. We have so much educated people who should know what is right and what is wrong. And we are behaving so ignorant, dotish, and stupid for a general election. Let me say this, I have a right to vote according to the Constitution, the democracy that we practice. But I don't have to vote. I don't have to vote for all this ignorance and stupidity that is going on in my country. I don't have to do that. Look in Tanzania. A woman has been elected as the new leader. And hundreds of people have been killed leading up to that. And since they say she won. Is it something in black people? I know Dr. Thomas is a bright guy. He might be able to tell me. Is it a disease with black people?
What am I
that we
hearing
have to
here?
go down this road? So
what are you talking
all
about,
I want
Dave?
to say is that in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I expect anything to happen. Anything. Who is going to stop it? Thank you. Have a good day.
But you know something? To bring racism into this, that sickens me. I tell you that. Let me tell you, we want to make sure. Okay, you want to hear?
We have another
me
call,
go.
so you would.
Let me hold on
address
that. Let me bite my lip
I'll
for a
write it
second.
down. Hi, Daniel. Morning.
Grand Rising, ladies. Dr.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yeah.
Grand Rising.
Hey, Daniel.
Yeah. Well, ladies, let me say to you, Parliament dissolved. So when Parliament dissolved, we don't have a government right now. Is
Oh no,
the
are you
governor
still-
is in charge?
No. You still have an executive.
It still has to.
Parliament is dissolved.
Function.
Yeah, Parliament is. Cabinet still meets,
Yes.
The executive still
cabinet.
meets. Yes, yeah.
Okay, so the governor in charge and cabinet still meets.
The country still has to run, you know.
Parliament. Okay,
Yes,
listen.
I know country still have to run.
Let me just explain. The three arms of our country. The judiciary is still running.
Okay, yeah. I understand that.
The government itself, the executive is still running, but Parliament is dissolved. And once there's election, then you would have changes in the executive or adjustments in the executive or return of the executive, whatever the case might be. You know?
Okay, so we don't have a prime minister and we don't have no members of no ministers of government.
Yeah, you have.
They're speaking about. But anyway, let me move on.
No, hold on, Daniel. I realize you're trying to rush that part of it, but Doc is trying to explain it to you.
Yes,
Go ahead.
The executive still functions. The various ministries still functions. Ministers still sign, and so forth. This cabinet still meet, but in terms of the Parliament, there's going to be no Parliament to pass bills and acts and so forth and things of that nature. Yes, you know what I'm saying? So.
Thanks about that.
All right, then go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. I almost come a victim of violence Friday, and I would call the store name because I want, if they're listening, they could call and say what I'm saying.
Wait, hold on. You're almost a victim of violence, and what was the part that you just said?
Yes.
And you said something.
I will call the store name.
No,
don't. Because it happened in a store.
Well, no, you don't need to. No, Daniel, don't call the store's name.
Okay. I went in a hardware, and when I go in the hardware, I meet two young guys, and I was speaking to them about buying something and so on, But I have to go for some money to come back and so because place didn't know me yet. After 8 o'clock, by the time I reach up there again, money come back and buy and so. So I speaking to them and so on and so on, and then a little politics thing come in. And when me and the two guys speak in politics, we discussing because politics is a discussing thing that I listen, them listen. You have another guy who walk in the store, an elder guy, come in, argue, hey, Ralph, this, Ralph, that, what you know about Ralph? And big argument come between me and him. How he gets in the conversation, nobody knows. It's the security and the other people who inside there come and cool me down. You understand? So that's why I'm trying to tell you, when people hear you speaking about politics, they just involve themselves. You understand? They just involve themselves. But anyway, nothing didn't happen. Let me tell like content something. Margaret London used to be on her program Night Nurse, and she get like a threat times gone by. You understand? And nobody never come and say, well, that shouldn't happen, man. They didn't condemn that. You understand? You have a lot of things happen here with different people. Well, let me don't go there. You understand? What I want to say now, we need Ralph to come and clear the air for all the allegations over your head. You can't go to an election with all these allegations. I call him many times for what he do me a kind of one and so on. The other day, Cecilia cut me off. But you know why he cut me off? Why you want to say why? You understand? But the point is, they always say that it's an interactive program. If we interacting, if I say something, you can ask me, well, why this, why that? You cut me off the other day too. Why this, why that? That's what we're supposed to be. So when I hear interactive program, you don't just cut off people. Ask them why and so on.
Okay, but Daniel, it depends on what it is that you're saying, huh?
You
see, like how just now. No, it's not just obscene language. Remember, just like how you in a while ago, you wanted to mention the name of the store, and I told you, no, you can't mention the name of the store. It's little things like that. You have to be able to understand from our vantage point as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, and Daniel, there's an issue of libel. You know, sometimes when somebody's putting over a story, sometimes they just add a bit of sugar to it, and there's add a little twist to it. You know, if you are saying something and you're allowed to say it, and it is the full truth, that's fine. But if then the person who you're said to name then comes back, they not only can, in terms of question the radio station or the television station or the media source, but also
they go action.
They can do that because they could have been embarrassed, or they could. You may think it's justified, but the use of media to basically get back at something. Let's say it is your wife you want to get at, or let's say it is your neighbor you want to get at. For some other reason, or your pastor, you decide to say something about your pastor. It's the same thing about saying something about a politician. Sometimes things are embellished. You hear about something, and you want to make a long list. So you one of those things, who knows, maybe true, maybe close to the truth, but you add a few other things to sweeten it.
I understand.
And
I
you can make
understand.
mistakes.
That's why I want him to come and clear the air. Because you know why I want that? You have Prime Minister in the OCS in the Caribbean. They could be listening. Because he admit to all those already, and he can't say the fabricated voice. So that's why they want to come and clear the air before election. You understand? And it shouldn't be, even that come and clear air, it shouldn't be nominated as a candidate for the upcoming general election. That's how I see it. That's my opinion.
Okay.
Should come and clear the air.
All right, Daniel.
Okay.
And you
enjoy the day.
You too, thanks.
And you know, Daniel expresses his opinion. I want to say this. I have been to countries of the world. There was a time in Jamaica in which every election there would be literally almost hundreds of deaths. Somebody was bringing up Tanzania and Africa and so forth. But do you know countries in Europe? Do you know countries in the Far East? Vietnam, Cambodia, all these countries. Do you know in India there are lots of deaths? In South America, in Brazil, during the elections, the amount of deaths that take place, the people who get pop off in Chile and so forth, people who disappeared. Don't talk about Mexico and those. I could go around the world. And I've mentioned countries, but we have to make sure we don't get like those countries. We have to make sure. And it isn't about black people. It isn't, Dave, about black people. And black people are the ones who do this, and white people are sacred and nice and wonderful. My gosh, how could you go and say something like that? What's wrong with black people?
And just to note that the persons who stormed the Capitol when Trump lost that election, it was
several people died.
Yeah, and it wasn't. You can't say it's a black people thing, all right?
My gosh, no, but you see, I'm saying I gotta call Dave out on that.
Yeah, okay.
You know, come on.
All right, so final call for this segment. Hi, Coach. Good morning.
Good morning, Doc. I see you calling me, but call America too now. America have plenty political killing.
In where?
America.
America.
Well. They said Roleza just mentioned it just before you call in terms of the tropical, the capital's storm and so forth.
What storm? I talking about political killing.
Well, look at that.
What
extrajudicial killing. When you're blowing boat out of the water and so.
They beat up police in America here. when David's talking about black people, I tell you, some people be so racist in the head about their own color that you won't believe it. Hear what he's talking about. Oh, black, what to black people? White people do a lot of killing in America here.
What's wrong with black people? I mean, I tell you, honest to God, that sickened me. Release of them had to stop me from coming in because a caller was coming in, and I calmed down a little bit.
I tell her that's the reason why I have a problem with Dave. From the time he called me that N-word, I knew I could have feel it in my bone. Dave had that problem with black people.
He called you what?
No, oh gosh, it was the incident with he made mention of the N-word. Remember that thing with
oh gosh, yeah, no, he didn't. Yeah,
right.
It's self-hate,
Okay.
A form of colonialism.
All right, so you both have made your point.
We made the point. Listen,
yeah.
Roleza, we are not promoting any violence. We are talking about why violence develops, And Kojo, I am saying that we have to make sure we don't reach those stages. And the pecan. Yeah, go ahead.
I agree. Anytime anybody tell me about violence, I agree. We're not supposed to fight over politics. I don't care who it is, what side it is. No fighting should be happening over politics. But then when you come and tell me that what happened to black people, like it is only black people who are fighting over politics, something is wrong with your head. You watch them in Parliament in England sometimes, they're fighting.
My gosh. In the Middle East, look what's in the Middle East. I wouldn't necessarily call people in the Middle East black,
They're black to me, but they don't call themselves black.
All right, Kojo.
They're black for me, but they don't call. And they see the next thing with that guy just now. I tell all the way this guy on. Let me be careful when that guy calls. That guy can put on the station in trouble. But mark my word. Mark my word. That guy don't put that radio station in trouble. Mark my word. He don't pop off on them and call out kind of name. Mark my word. Be careful. Trust me. And you're right gone.
All right. Have a good one.
I'm an hour behind now.
So 4 hours?
Yeah. So that's why I could chip in so late this time.
Okay.
Okay.
We still
over the week.
All right. So I know what Coach was going to say. There's daylight saving time kicked in over the weekend. All right. Thanks, Coach, for still participating. All right. So we're just going to close out this segment. And the caller who stated that the PM on the platform last night made mention of persons not destroying the billboards. I suppose I would also, while it is that I am seeing all of these political videos pop up on social media, whether I want to see them, yes or no, it's happening. I think maybe the parties as well could also put out that messaging with regards to their supporters not engaging in violence. All right, maybe 1 or 2. You could use social media, do videos. You could put ads on radios. I'm a newspaper person. Many of you out there are a newspaper person. Do a little bit more promotion, so at least persons can recognize that politicians or the parties are actually taking this point as well seriously. All right, so just something else there to add.
Okay, just to finish up on the political violence and disrespect, my final thing is, it's not new. Dave, I too was not really too pleased with the thing. I mean, it's not just black people alone, as was mentioned. And it's not new. It's happening all over. And I hate to be a negative Nancy, but I believe it is going to continue into the future. People learn how to behave when it comes to politics from their politicians. And a lot of the behavior that people have, they got it from their politicians, or because they know that a particular politician is a particular way they do it. I mean, we have a lot of evidence of politicians being very disrespectful to each other, and they still do that today. Sometimes you interview a politician and you're asking them about their plans and their whatever, and they start to tell you about the other party and what the other party, they know the other party and who this and who that. So that pull-down attitude and that disrespectful attitude, we get a lot of that from our politicians. And I think in some cases, politics relies on the ignorance of people, because when it comes to political violence and disrespect, again, as we're talking about, person's maturity their education, their self-awareness, their consciousness, all of these things would impact their behavior and how they respond to people when people say certain things that are going to get them upset. It really, really is a lot about educating ourselves on certain things so that we don't continue. And yeah. I think that's basically it for me. So the politicians have to set the example. If you want peaceful people and you want peaceful things, then you need to show that example. Stop pulling on each other. Stop being so disrespectful. Stop talking about people who support other party, even if it's just for fun. And then we joke and say, oh, it's political picong. Yeah, but then we continue with the disrespect because we see them laughing and shouting at each other. Even in parliament, look how disrespectful politicians are to the Speaker of the House. So we learn from them. So when they change their behavior, perhaps the people will change their behavior too. And as a citizen, educate yourself as well. Because even though you have these people who you're following and you have this and that, you have a role to play in your actions and your thoughts. So as a human being, educate yourself on politics. Learn who you are. Some self-awareness should help you. So when persons say certain things about your party and it may upset you, walk away. Walk away or find a mature way of dealing with it. So yes, the politicians must adjust their behavior and we must, don't wait on them, fix yours in the meantime.
Yeah. All right, because I was going to take you up with that because you're saying that persons are doing what the city politicians do, but what about you to your own self knowing that this isn't right? All of us have a conscience.
We do. But we all know.
But the thing of it is that I know some persons are going to say there's a thing of herd.
They know their behavior is influential.
I know that there's a thing of herd mentality, but you can't still stand apart because you know better within yourself.
Dianna, what a man does to his wife, his girlfriend, and hit her, and what a girlfriend may do to her boyfriend isn't influenced by that. These are some things that have gone through time.
You're going in
I'm going in a different.
I'm talking about domestic violence.
Thank you very much. I'm talking about domestic violence. I'm talking about the way in which we talk to friends, we talk to other. We do this up and down things. You know, who we like, who we don't like. Somebody who is black and you're white, somebody who's tall and short or overweight, or how do we react to them? We have this way of dealing with things. But there's a guy named Karl Rove. He's a Republican he was a Republican strategist. He pointed out that negative also works. So talking about the negatives of your opponent works in a comparison of what you're doing. It may be naive to think, though, that if you just talk about, well, these are the positive things I'm going to do, and you don't say anything that's critical, or let's use another word, negative about the individual, that may well work. I'm not sure that leads to violence.
Just because it works, does that mean it's a good thing to do? No,
but hear what I'm saying. Hear the point I'm making. I don't believe that leads to violence. You understand?
It does, because when you do things like that, you are aware, you politicians, you people, you educated people in such positions, you are aware that not everybody is on the same maturity and education level. So when you throw out something, or a regular person throws out something, I may be able to just breathe and roll my eyes, use my teeth and walk away. But we are aware that not everybody is like that. I mean, we have so many examples around us. So you know that some persons are going to get real heated, and you promote this sort of loyalty, this behavior, like you must worship me and you must be on my side and you must be this. And you know people are going to have that in them, and some people are just going to be real fiery and they simply cannot handle certain things the way others can. And we all know this.
However, I am still saying it's probably a little naive in all aspects of life to think that we are going to just say just the negative about a boyfriend, about a teacher, about a friend, you know. Sometimes, if you could just talk about the positive things about them all the time, that's wonderful. But sometimes you may see something wrong.
No, but Dianna, but Doc, I think you're going down a
No. I'm going down a road because I saw. Hear the point I'm saying. I think that Dianna was linking it in a reverse way, that activities in life are related just to the politician. The politician must lead the
No,
way.
she's not
Yeah,
linking all of those.
Ah.
No, Doc, no.
I tell you something. I tell you something.
No, it's not that. What
I'm thinking that that's.
is that the
I'm saying
politicians are in a position of leadership.
exactly.
And
They must
if
lead. They must
yes.
lead the way.
Yeah,
However,
but it's not in everything. It can't be in every aspect of life.
can't be in every aspect of life.
Exactly.
It can't be in every aspect of life, and that's what I'm hoping we come into a consensus.
No, but then
It
we're
can't be in
talking
every
about
aspect of
now
life.
being the election season.
No,
and
but actually,
heightened tensions and aggression. That's what she's talking about.
I'm also bringing up that don't mistaken that if you're pointing out the negatives, right, or the downsides of somebody else's proposals, or the negatives of what somebody else is doing, the negatives of the ULP and so forth, then that is okay. That is fine.
I still disagree
Yeah.
because in life, I mean,
what I'm
I didn't say
saying to
that
you.
I'm a perfect person. There's
Yeah.
mistakes that I've made and I'm trying to
Yeah.
do better. But it is not good to just pull down people like that or point out people's negatives just because you want to paint them a certain way. I've had people who have done terrible things to me and somebody come to me and say, you know, what do you think about this person? And I just tell them about the good things or what I don't. I never once said, boy, you know, they do me this and you know, they do me that. I just kept that to
Yeah,
myself
but that's fine.
because it's not, I don't think it's okay to justify that type of negativity
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, what is the point of the democracy? What is the point of the politics? It's to get a government. Why do we have to involve all the negative and the pulling down? If you have solid points, you have solid plans, solid policies, or whatever to go
Just
by.
talk about
Why
those
do we have
alone.
to bring in all of those? The point of the democracy, the point of the voting is to select the best group of people that you think are suited to run your country.
and how do
Where
you
are
do
the
that?
pulling down? Where I have to do it, how you're going and run this country.
There's also a comparison. The process of comparison comes in that whole process. I understand what you're saying. I get what you're saying very
It's
clearly.
juicy. That's why we're doing it, because it's juicy.
It may not just be juicy because you're looking at just a particular aspect, but there are aspects of this that are needed. You know, there are aspects of this pointing out what the other person may be doing may lead to failure. Like building a port could lead to more debt. Right, or having CBI, what that will lead to, you know, but the whole point,
goodness.
no, the whole point is don't talk about it at all. You know what I mean?
You don't say
talk.
them 3 letters.
I'll tell you something. I know because you see, Dianna, you know why I bring it up? Because I brought it up. I brought it up because I know it may trigger you because that's part of what I'm saying. Don't bring that up. Just talk about what you're doing. Don't talk about that aspect.
If you know what you're
That will
talking,
lead
if somebody
that will
is
lead
going
to violence.
If somebody is going to start up a project and you point out the pros and cons, that's a different thing. Pointing out the
That's what I'm
pros and
talking
cons
about.
of those things.
As I'm talking about.
So
I'm talking about that too.
no, that's a different
Doc,
type of thing. Pointing
Yeah.
out pros and cons is a different thing than pointing out all the negative things about you ain't see how he shot, you ain't see how he taught, you ain't see how she fat, you ain't see how they head dry. Unnecessary things.
Listen,
All right, so
Some
we
of those
need- we
things-
definitely
say-
need-
saying somebody's a crappo and so forth. Those things are negative.
Okay,
They
so-
clearly are. You know what I mean? Those things are negative.
Are.
You know?
All right.
They're
So
very
we
cute.
need
I
to.
do
We
agree.
definitely need to end this segment because we've been
Yeah.
at it a while. But I see persons are calling. We will take this back up at 9:20 when we have the open forum for Talk to Us, right? But I think one of the things that I probably just want to end this segment with is we need to have independence of thought, and maybe that is where there is a lot of problems in terms of being led astray too easily by whoever, which is probably part of what Dianna was saying. And yeah. All right. So,
And what Doc is saying.
no, Doc, no, you see, because your examples were a little bit, yeah. All right.
I'm going into some real realities. You know.
All right. There we go.
well,
All right. 9:20.